They say no good deed goes unpunished. I learned this the hard way. I opened my door to a girl who was crying. I gave her a warm bed because she said she had nowhere to go. I trusted her with my children. I didn't know that I was inviting a parasite into my sanctuary. I didn't know that in the eyes of the law, being kind makes you vulnerable. She stole my peace. She stole my home. And when I tried to kick her out, the police told me I would be the one going to jail. My name is Eliza. I am a single mother and an ER doctor. I save lives for a living, but nothing in medical school prepared me for the infection that entered my own house. This is the story of how my nanny tried to steal my property using a legal loophole, and this is how I used a sledgehammer and the freezing winter air to smoke her out. It started 6 months ago. I was drowning in work. My shifts at the hospital were 12 hours long, and I needed help with my 2 toddlers. I hired Jaycee through a reputable agency. She was 24, blonde, bubbly, and the kids adored her. She baked cookies, she braided hair, she was perfect. 2 months into the job, Jaycee came to work with red, puffy eyes. "What's wrong?" I asked, putting down my coffee. "My landlord," she sobbed. "He sold the building. I have to be out by tonight. I have nowhere to go, Dr. Eliza. I'm going to have to sleep in my car." My heart broke for her. How could I let the woman who takes care of my children sleep on the street? "Don't be silly," I said, making the biggest mistake of my life. "We have a guest room downstairs. Stay with us for a week or 2 until you find a new place. No rent. Just help out with the kids." She hugged me, crying tears of gratitude. "Thank you. You saved my life. I promise. Just 2 weeks." 2 weeks turned into a month. Every time I asked about her apartment search, there was an excuse. The credit check failed. The deposit was too high. The neighborhood wasn't safe. Then, the behavior changed. Jaycee stopped cleaning up after the kids. She started sleeping until noon. One night, I came home from a night shift at 3 a.m. to find a strange man sitting in my living room, watching my TV, eating my food, with his feet on my coffee table. "Who are you?" I demanded. "I'm Kyle," he grunted. "Jaycee's boyfriend. Chill out." I marched to the guest room and banged on the door. "Jaycee, get up. This is unacceptable. You need to leave. Tomorrow morning. Both of you." She opened the door. She wasn't the sweet nanny anymore. Her eyes were cold. "We're not going anywhere," she said. "And Kyle lives here now too." "Excuse me?" I laughed in disbelief. "This is my house. You are fired. Get out." "Make me," she smirked and slammed the door in my face. The next morning, I called the police. I met Officer Miller on the porch. "Officer, this woman is trespassing. I fired her and she refuses to leave." Officer Miller sighed. He looked tired. "Ma'am, how long has she been staying here?" "About 5 weeks," I said. "But she was a guest. She didn't pay rent." The officer shook his head. "I'm sorry, Dr. Eliza. In this state, anyone who stays in a property for more than 30 days establishes tenancy rights, even if they don't pay rent. She is legally a tenant now." I stared at him. "So, I can't kick her out?" "No," he said. "That would be an illegal eviction. You have to go to civil court. You have to serve her a 30-day notice, then file for eviction. The court backlog is about 6 months right now." "6 months?" I screamed. "I have to live with a stranger and her boyfriend in my house for 6 months?" "If you change the locks, cut the power, or throw her stuff out, she can sue you and you will be arrested," the officer warned. "It's a civil matter. Good luck." He left. I went back inside. Jaycee was sitting at my kitchen island, eating my yogurt. "Told you," she smiled. "By the way, we're out of milk. You should pick some up on your way home from the hospital." The next month was pure torture. They smoked cigarettes inside the house. The smell seeped into my kids' rooms. They played loud music all night. They ate my food. They used my expensive shampoo. I put locks on my bedroom door and kept my children upstairs. I was a prisoner in my own home. I tried to pay them to leave. "I'll give you $2,000, I offered. Make it 10,000, Kyle laughed, or we stay until the judge kicks us out next year. I was losing my mind. I was angry. But then I remembered something. I am a doctor. I solve problems by cutting out the infection. And I realized, while I couldn't evict them, I was still the homeowner. And homeowners have the right to do maintenance. I checked the law carefully. I couldn't turn off the heat. I couldn't cut the water. That was illegal. But the law said nothing about essential structural repairs or safety upgrades. It was December. The temperature outside was 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I sent my kids to stay with my mother for the weekend. Then I hired a construction crew. I told them I wanted to replace all the exterior doors and windows for energy efficiency. At 7 a.m. on a Saturday, the crew arrived. Jaycee and Kyle were asleep in the guest room. The foreman, a big guy named Tony who knew the situation, winked at me. "Ready for the upgrade, Doc?" "Start with the guest room," I said. Tony fired up a chainsaw. The sound shook the walls. Jaycee screamed. Tony and his crew didn't knock. They simply removed the guest room door from its hinges. Then they removed the windows. Not just the glass, the entire frames. Suddenly the guest room was open to the freezing winter air. The wind howled in. Snowflakes started drifting onto Jaycee's bed. "What are you doing?" Kyle yelled, shivering in his boxers. "Safety renovation," I said calmly, sipping my tea in my winter coat. "I decided the windows were drafty. We're replacing them." "Put them back," Jaycee shrieked. "It's freezing." "Oh, the new custom windows are on back order," I smiled. "They should arrive in 6 to 8 weeks. Until then, enjoy the fresh air." I didn't stop there. "Tony," I said, "the bathroom plumbing looks old. Let's replace the toilet." They removed the toilet from the downstairs bathroom. They capped the pipe. "Sorry," I told Jaycee. "Toilet is under maintenance. You'll have to use the gas station down the street. My upstairs bathroom is private." Then I told the crew to start sanding the floors. The noise was deafening. Dust was everywhere. The temperature in the house dropped to 30 degrees. Jaycee and Kyle were huddled under blankets, shivering, coughing from the dust. "This is illegal!" Kyle shouted, his teeth chattering. "No," I said, showing him the building permit. "I have a permit for renovation. I am improving the property. You have the right to stay if you can handle the construction." By 2 p.m., they couldn't take it. They couldn't use the bathroom. They were freezing. They couldn't hear themselves think over the sanding machines. Kyle started packing his bags. "I'm not doing this, Jaycee. It's too cold." "You can't leave me," she cried. "Watch me," he said, and walked out. Jaycee looked at me. I was wearing my ski jacket, watching Netflix on my iPad with noise-canceling headphones. She looked at the hole in the wall where the window used to be. She looked at the missing toilet. She realized I was crazier than she was. "Fine," she screamed. "You win! You crazy witch!" She grabbed her suitcase. She grabbed her pillows. She ran out the front door, leaving the key on the floor. As soon as her car drove away, Tony and the crew high-fived me. "Put the windows back in?" Tony asked. "Please," I said, and put the door back too. It took them 2 hours to seal the house back up. I turned the heat up to 80 degrees. I cleaned the guest room with bleach. I burned the sheets she slept on. I changed the locks. I installed cameras. Jaycee tried to sue me later for constructive eviction, but my lawyer argued that the renovations were necessary for the structural integrity of the home and that she voluntarily vacated the premises. Since she had left on her own, she had no case. I still help people. I still save lives in the ER, but my door is locked. If you need help, I'll give you the number for a shelter. I'll buy you a meal. But you are never, ever sleeping in my house. The moral of the story: generosity without boundaries is self-destruction. There are people in this world who view kindness not as a gift, but as a weakness to be exploited. Know the laws before you open your home. And if someone tries to steal your sanctuary using the rules against you, remember that you own the game board. Sometimes you have to tear the walls down to get the rats out.